So this is life, and I'll be your concierge. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest in the studio. He's a humble, all-around gentleman, actor, international actor, local actor. I'm here to sit down with him to find out a little bit more about him. Ladies and gentlemen, Clayton Evertson. Clayton, thank you for joining me, brother.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you, bro. We've known each other.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you. You look familiar.
You look very familiar.
Are you in the industry?
I might be.
Cheers, my brother.
No, cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Clay, I want to take it right to the beginning. Where are you from?
Okay, where am I from? We moved around a lot when I was younger. But I grew up mostly in Strandfontein.
Are you from Strandfontein? Because I could never place you.
Yeah.
You have I could see why you get booked on a lot of internationals, but I'm going to touch on that again. You got an international look. I was always wondered, are you Cape Town local or from elsewhere? But you're from Strandfontein.
No, from Strandfontein. So we moved around a lot, but my grandma stayed in Strandfontein.
Okay.
So she was my headquarters.
Yeah,
I always went back to the HQ when things went like at home and stuff like that. Yeah. Grew up in Strandfontein, and then I was just all over the place when I went to primary school in town. Grew up seminary junior school.
Okay.
So then I spent a year in the Eastern Cape. Went to a boys' school for the first time.
Which one?
Dale College.
Dale, okay.
Yeah, in King Williamstown.
Yeah. Whenever I think Eastern Cape Boys School, I think Grays. Is it Grays or is it...
No, isn't Grays Free State?
No, I think it's Eastern Cape. I think there's one in the Eastern Cape as
College.
well. There's two, yeah? There's two.
Oh, okay.
There's two. There's one local in Cape Town and there's one Bloemfontein and in P.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll fact checker just sorted it out. Yeah, so it's Bloemfontein and P. But you went to Dale. Is it also a very private school, like the Greys and those schools?
Yeah, it was a huge adjustment. So I was at this, Model C school. You can wear your long grey pants and a shirt, open collar, and try and be cool and stuff like that. And I get to the Eastern Cape. I get to Dale College, and all of a sudden you have to wear shorts whole year round. And
Even in winter?
Brother, even in winter.
Sure.
So, and all you get in winter is a blazer. And then you have to wear this cap. And then every time you walk past a teacher, you have to
lift up your hat.
Lift up your hat and ma'am, sir. So I got into trouble my first day because when you answer a teacher would ask you a question and I'd be like, yeah. And he'd be like, no, yes, sir. I'm like, yeah, no,
You're from
yes,
Strandfontein, first day at school in Eastern Cape. Hello, Clayton. Azia.
Oh yeah, sir.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was an adjustment. Just it's boys. There's a lot of ego all over the place. Everyone's trying to get into the first team for rugby. Fights will break out here and there. That was the way you could almost prove yourself. Is okay, get into a quick scrap and then the boys will know.
Yeah. Did you ever get into a few?
Not really, but war of words.
Oh, okay.
And I called this one guy. So this guy he wouldn't stop. He had been there from sub A, and it's myself and 3 other colored boys.
Yeah. You were the only colored in the whole school?
In grade 7.
What was it predominantly?
Predominantly black and white.
Black and white, okay.
Yeah. And this kid just wouldn't stop. And then I was just fuck it. And I was like, hey man, your mother's a gentle.
Yeah. that would do it.
And he was very confused.
Yeah.
Until someone came to us what is gentle me? I'm like, no, his mother sleeps with a lot of... Mom's a prostitute, man. His mother sleeps... And then that kind of...
I always thought all colors around the country knew what gentle means, but I also, if I'm speaking to a lot of Eastern Cape, don't ask me why gentos even come up in conversation, but they don't know what that word is.
They don't.
Yeah.
But that was my way of
Western Cape, yeah.
That's the thing. So that was my way of kind of getting back of using the Western Cape slang to kind of just shut the stuff down because they wouldn't really have anything to come back.
Yeah.
But then also, as you do well in sports and stuff like that, you also get more. They're like, oh, okay, cool. He's
cool,
one of us, so to speak. But I was there for a year. That was my first time as a kid adjusting to something new.
Yeah.
And the family was going through stuff at the time as well. So our lives were completely changing from middle class to all of a sudden we are now dirt poor.
Oh.
Within a year. Literally middle class By the end of 1999, just dirt poor.
Is that like failed businesses?
Just bad decisions by my dad.
Oh, okay.
And not being open on
Yeah.
a communication level about
Which
what's
a lot of
going
us
on.
men struggle with, right? Communication,
lot.
openness.
And till this day, my family still fails with communication.
I think it's our communities in general, I think.
Yeah.
With communication. Like almost like communicating too much is like too vulnerable, maybe.
Yeah,
Like
you can't be too vulnerable.
You got to
Like,
be hard around the clock.
Have to be hard.
Yeah.
My dad came from the army, for instance, right? So he very much had the hardcore way of parenting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he was gonna, if you were gonna get a hiding, you were gonna get a hiding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you'd cut my hair, it would be short, but then you'd still brush it.
Yeah.
So the brush is you brush
bristles
my
are
skull.
hard, bruh. Yeah.
So then I'd develop, you know, I'd have tears in my eyes, and he'd be like, "Why are you crying?"
Yeah.
I don't know, brother, because you brush my skull. Like, so what question is that? But that was
like
his
when they
way.
used to wash you with the suckies of the orange. Also, like I don't know if you had that.
No.
Like I know, like in some communities, also in South Africa, friends of mine, their parents used to wash them with the like orange bags.
Really?
Like because obviously you can't afford scrubs at shops and all that. They use that as a scrub, but it's like it hurts.
I would imagine.
I know, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
But yeah, my father he had the military style of parenting and doing his thing. But yeah, after that year, we came back. I was back in the Western Cape. Then went to Muizenberg High. Sorry, and then that's where the acting started kicking in because we moved to Straumentein as well. So we lived literally just behind my grandma. And then when I was with my folks, it was like the last thing I wanted to do was go home because things are nice at home and stuff like that. So I just stay behind. So I do like, we did like Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat and Grease, those type of
Iconic,
productions. Yeah. So I just help out backstage or with lighting, whatever. Just whatever I could do to not go home. Because my dad and I didn't see eye to eye. And, you know,
It's funny how a lot of the great artists there's always some trauma wound back there. Yeah, so it's funny. I don't know if it's just me, but I know there's a lot of like the best actors and artists, people that want to, I guess, work through trauma or wounds or whatever. Sometimes they have a little bit of a tumultuous past, and somehow when they find art, it's like a cathartic experience to heal themselves through finally exposing their emotion or how they actually feel. And those ones are good on screen because you can like see the hurt or the pain, whatever.
Well, there's a lot to draw from, I suppose. Like you can tap into so many emotions. But it's not, I don't think it's necessarily that you have to go through that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's great to have that. And then I think, you know, as performers, we pull from that pool to help us out. And all it can do is really enhance your character. But I also think, I think with like anything in life, really, you can, whatever pain you've gone through, you kind of use it to get yourself from point A to point B, whichever way you choose to do that. Of like, I'm never going back to that life, or I'm going to use this to propel myself into a better position. And then you get those people who just never fucking learn, man.
Yeah.
They don't.
Ongoing perpetual cycle of the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they point the finger elsewhere. Like, no, it's this person's fault, or this didn't happen, or
no accountability.
Yeah.
But like when so you stayed behind at school, you did Joseph and the Amazing
Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Grease, were you Danny?
Grease. No. So grade 8 was Joseph. Grade 9 was Grease. So if you were in grade 8 to 9, you weren't allowed to be one of the main characters. So you'd have to either be part of the chorus or, you know, an extra type of thing. Or you help out with the lights and the backstage stuff, helping people out. So I was like in Greece, I was one of the dancers. I would just kind of be on the rotation, one of the dancers in the background and stuff like that. But I enjoyed it to the point where they once had a rehearsal at the Mask Theatre, which is in Muizenberg. And one of the students was like, "Why are you here? Like, just meant for the cast." Like, and I was like, I wanna see what's going on. But at that time, I wasn't thinking like acting or because my dad was very much, you're going to play sports. You're going to either be a Springbok or you're going to be a SA tennis player.
Were
or
you
you're
playing
gonna be a
rugby at the
Protea.
time?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I was very good at rugby and tennis.
Okay. Position?
I started off at lock.
And flank probably.
And then, flank. As I got older, I moved out to the flank, which I enjoyed a lot more.
Nice.
I hated lock.
Open side in?
Open.
Nice.
Yeah. And then sometimes, depending on who pitched up, I'd be at 8th man as well.
Oh, cool. You're a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine rugby was
But, so I would do the drama stuff, I'd do the rugby stuff. And then I was only in grade 10 when they were looking for this bad guy for a production called Who Killed Jimmy Valentine. And like, we had no one in the school. Like, I kid you not, my grandma's church group, they sold out like the 10, 15 rows.
Yeah.
And just like no one else. There was like no one else there. But they needed a bad guy for that. And then I asked the director, like, hey, let me do it. I'm here. No one else wants to do it. And then that's when it started, when you're like on stage and you're seeing the lights and the responsibility of being on stage. And that's when that acting bug hits. And then at the conversation with my dad, was like, so the sports thing, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna do this other thing.
How did that go down?
Not well.
Not good
at all. Yeah, he lost his shit.
Yeah, especially again with us, with our people, it's like our parents have gone through so much, right? And I think all they wanted for us was like a level of stability, you know, things that would bring in that solid paycheck. When I also became an actor, and I told my mother, I'm dropping out of my honors in finance to become an actor. That's what I had to do. They wanted to kill me, you know. So I think for your dad, also for him, it must have been like, what do you mean? Like, you can do this thing probably as a hobby or for fun.
Yeah.
But what do you mean you want to do it did you know then you wanted to do it as a career?
I didn't know I was going to go full time into it. All that I knew is I liked the feeling that it gave me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being on stage a lot more than I enjoyed being on the rugby field or the tennis court.
Yeah.
That's all I could explain. But how do you tell someone who's basically invested a lot of time and money into this end goal of, you have this talent, so pursue this? And it's like, I hear you, but there's this other thing that I love so much, and I can't at that stage, you can't really express the feeling other than, this is what I want to do. And you know, my dad just didn't understand, or he doesn't even, it's like, acting, what are you talking about acting? Like, name one actor who's but yeah. And then from there, it was I did grade 11, which I failed. I failed twice, so no one gave me any fucking hope of being.
You failed grade 11 twice?
No, so I failed once in primary school.
Oh, okay.
And then once in high school.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to tell my grandma, like, I failed. So I told her, and she had some of her church friends there, and they just prayed for me.
Yeah.
You know, so like, but sorry, I'll never forget the look on her face. Where it wasn't a look of disappointment, it was more just look of concern of like, I don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
And she loved me dearly. Like, I mean, we had a great relationship. She helped raise me. She came to all my shows. She bought me stuff. So she raised me for my teen years, I'd say. So I just remember having this look of just like, I don't know where you're going. Like, this is the second time. Like, I don't know. And even I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
And then it was only once I had finished school, then, you know, I got to this place called New Africa Theatre Academy, where you pay like $5.50 a term. It was like a NGO. It was in Sabrin Park.
I didn't know those existed. That's nice, $5.50. Because the only options that I thought existed, which was why I didn't go to acting school after high school, was like the AFDAs and all of this. That's like, I didn't have 40, 50,000 rand a year.
Yeah,
that was a definite no.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Abdurrahman Adams, which is...
Oh, he's a legend.
He's an absolute legend.
I love him.
I remember him calling me because he got my number, I think, from my cousin. And he's like, I heard you want to audition for New Africa. I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, cool. You need 2 monologues, I think it was. And we're having auditions on this date. And I was like, monologues? Like, what is he talking about? So I just wrote my own little monologue about a accident
Damn.
An accident that happened in Strandfontein, and I played a reporter and a bystander, like two different characters, reporter and bystander.
All in one monologue, like you responding to yourself.
Me responding to myself.
Hectic.
And then I got in, and then all they basically taught you at that stage was like the fundamentals of the industry, and about stage, and we did movement class, which I didn't understand at the time, but then I got better at understanding.
Were there cameras? Because a lot of the acting classes that I went to in the formative years was like, there's no cameras. So there's obviously you're learning one of two styles of acting. One being for theater, which is a little bit more freedom of movement, more projection, and the other one's for film, which would make why you would have the need for cameras. Was it more like, was it teaching for theater or was it teaching for film?
Mainly theater.
Oh, cool.
Like it was all theater. I mean, our final performance was a theater production. I only got into the camera stuff when I got to City Varsity. So when I was done at New Africa, when I was close to being done there, Abdurrahman and another teacher named Carol, who I also owe a lot to, because to make money I would house it when I was younger. So the first person's house I looked after was Carol's.
Yeah.
And then from there I'd do like an ex-husband's place, and then he would hook me up with someone else. So I made money that way.
Thank God for ex-husbands.
He had an amazing house though. In Pinelands, he was a pilot.
Yeah.
So he just had this mansion. It was my first time like in this big house, but it had these wooden floors.
Yeah.
So I'd be laying there, and then you just hear this creaking at night, like creak. And I'm like, okay, is there someone in the house, or is this place haunted and this guy just didn't tell me?
Yeah.
So I would never sleep because I'm just like, I'd be freaked out by this,
paranormal activity.
Paranormal activity, these wooden floors that was creaking and stuff. But so through them, they told me about City Varsity was having auditions for bursary for their first ever third year class. So I did that, got that, and then at City Varsity, that's when I started to learn about film and multicam. We did a lot of multicam.
Yeah, which multicam
stuff.
Would you agree it's like higher stakes, right?
Yeah.
The acting is a little bit more bigger than single.
A little bit more bigger, and understanding where you are with regards
the light
to
and camera
and all that stuff. And then finished off that year, which I'm so grateful for, because it was a step. It was it was a step above obviously New Africa, and it was a competitive class as well, because it was the first ever third year group. We had guys from AVDA, who felt that they weren't getting the good teaching from AVDA acting classes. They came over, so like the Bjorn Steinbachs and
I did classes with Bjorn 2011. He was like hosting his own classes.
Yes, he used to do the
Meisner technique, repetition.
Yes. Yeah. So funny. It was then through Bjorn that I ended up at Stella Adler in New York. So I did Stella Adler for 3 months.
Oh, because he was there for a few months.
Because he was in New York for the Meisner stuff. So I was just picking his brain at the time, because from when I started in the industry from in 2006 to 2010, there wasn't much going on. I'm landing bit parts here and there, and I'm feeling like I wasn't good enough and stuff. So it's like, okay, maybe I just need to go to reboot. So I asked Bjorn, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do Meisner because it wasn't really for me personally.
Were you more interested in method acting?
So at the time, yes.
Because so Meisner is like kind of taking away from the method, right? It's more living in imaginary circumstances.
So I'm thinking Lee Strasberg, and then Bjorn goes, there's a place called Stella Adler. Yeah. You should check that out. They're quite intense as well. So I read Stella Adler, and then they deal with the imaginary, more
living
in the imaginary world instead of pulling from self-pain and hurting yourself. Yeah. That was their big thing. They're like, I don't want you to like mentally hurt yourself. Yeah. So just use these imaginary circumstances.
Because it can get it can be damaging, I think, if you have to recall that same trauma over and over again. Because that's what we used to do. I think starting out also, I have to remember that bad thing, that friend of mine that died every single time I want to bring a tear out.
Yeah.
And then I think Meisner also helped me with not having to go back there, but to...
I think so. We actually in our class we had a big debate about it where the teacher, the guy who was teaching us, Patrick in New York, he was all in Stella Adler, and he believed that was the only way to go. Which I kind of had a counter argument of, well, you can't completely shit on Lee Strauss because it works for some people. Some people are actually able to tap into those emotions and not have it harm them.
Yeah, and leave it at the door when they're done.
And leave it at the door. But he was just like, no. You know, it's like you turn like red in the face. He had this like white hair and he turned like blood red. No, it's Adler. Because he studied with the newer.
Yes.
So he'd be like, no, it's only Adler, and you do not do those other things. And
they're so intense though, acting coaches. Like I used to think that they were like the begin and end all. I remember when I lived in LA also, I used to think acting coaches know everything they need to know about it and all of them have their own technique, right? And then I lost faith in them because I started thinking like, hey, but wait a minute, all these acting coaches are failed actors. You know what I mean? And they're trying to fucking tell us how to be a successful actor. And they've developed this technique and they're charging exorbitant amounts of monies for vulnerable actors to come through their schools to learn their approach. Yeah. Don't you think that acting like for the law should rather be about finding what works for you, your own approach? Like you said, some people can leave it at the door with method and some people need to do Meisner.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's a better way? Obviously, coaching and teaching is important, but like at some point, you can't be in class forever. You need to go out there and earn a living.
It works. It's there. I feel like it's a guidance. It's a guidance to figure out where you fit, what works for you, right? There have been guys who have studied and become a success. There are guys who have studied and haven't become a success. And then there are guys who've just come off the street, done their first audition, and they nailed it.
100%.
You know, so that's that raw talent, you know, that you don't even want to touch, where you don't even go to acting school because it might work that out.
They can mess you up.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen with many actors. They can mess you up. Yeah.
So it's like when people ask, should I go, shouldn't I go? It's like, if you feel you need to go, I felt I needed to go.
Okay.
Like when I went to New York, that I felt I needed to go. I spent a whole lot of money and I was eating $1 pizza every day there, but it was fine. I just felt that's what I needed at the time and it helped me. So that's why I try and tell other actors, like, if you feel you need it, if you genuinely behind closed doors, yourself in a room, if you feel that's what you need, then do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And it clearly worked. Because I couldn't memorize all of your credits, my brother. So I'm going to read it off your IMDb. Because what I like about you, what I appreciate about you is how you're very low key, right? And for somebody to know what you've done, they have to go to your IMDb. So it's like all your international credits. I mean, Eraser Reborn, Raised by Wolves, Bulletproof 2, Salvation, The Fighter, Origin, Maze Runner. What else do we? Black Mirror, Honey 3, The Brothers Grimsby, The Book of Negroes. I mean, Death Race 2. You've been at this game, bruh.
Yeah.
And yet, the South African audiences will largely kind of know the more household soapies names, but they won't realize how many credits and how much acting you've actually done.
Yeah.
Like you are a fully working actor, but both on international and local films. And it's kind of interesting to me that you actually book more international than you do local. And I know you do have you've got like one of those international looks, you know, you can play anything. But why do you think that is? Like, is there just not enough local content and not enough local work for you?
I don't know. I think I was going up for the local stuff. I just wasn't landing a lot, that's why I made the pivot early on, because I was like, okay, if I maybe then just do my American accent and I do like the Mexican accent thing, that will keep me going. Because at the time, well, when I was starting out, especially when things started get going for me around 2010-ish, from there wasn't like a whole lot of local content also coming out. You know, you had, at that time, everyone wanted Seven the Land.
Yeah.
You know, like Land on Simmerland or Isidingo or Generations. That's where
It's a stable paycheck.
Stable paycheck. There's fame that comes with it, and you know, they're recognizable.
Yeah.
That's where everyone wanted to be. But like the Afrikaans stuff, I wasn't landing the Afrikaans stuff because no one wanted to give the English guy.
Do you also get that like you don't sound colored enough?
Yeah,
I used to get.
I got told that in an audition.
Yeah, you don't sound. Can you just make it a little bit more colored?
A little bit more.
Just a little bit more. You know how you guguys speak.
Well, I didn't. This casting director didn't say colored because they were afraid to say colored.
Yeah.
But they were like, could you just don't? It's not.
It's just not quite there yet.
Yeah, it's not there. Can you
just hit your R's a little bit like you would usually? Like not the her, the r, that thing, man.
And I'm like, say it. Like, I want to hear you say it. Like,
you're saying check. What I want you to say is tick.
Tick. you saying you're saying yay.
Yeah.
Say J.
Zay.
Yeah. No, but like at that time, no one was giving me. I wasn't getting into that world.
You probably more noticed abroad than you are at home. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know.
Because you've done Adensvlei. You just got off Spinners. Spinners is one of the best local shows I've watched, bruh. I watched it recently and I think it is fantastic. Good job on that.
Yeah,
like that is such a cool story, authentically told.
But like with Spinners, the cool thing with that is it just shows you what can happen when you have that extra backing, because that's the other problem we have in the industry at the moment is there's no financial backing prop. So these guys write these amazing scripts, but then they have to cut back on stuff because the budget isn't there to, you know, really fulfill what's on the page. And then you lose a bit of that, the script, the beauty of the script, because it's so well written. But now we got to start taking stuff out because the budget doesn't match up to it. And with Spinners, I feel it just shows what happens when you have that budget. You know, when you have a bit of backing, what can come out of that. Yeah. And
where's the art and culture funding and things like that? Because who ended up funding that?
That's a good question, bro.
Is it from abroad though?
Oh, you're talking about Spinners?
Spinners.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Canal Plus.
Who are they?
They're in France.
A French company. Funded a story from the Cape Flats.
We had French producers.
Damn.
On there. So, you know, some of the cast, well, Cantona, he went over to the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
So, and the director as well, Jaco, who is amazing, by the way. So, yeah, we just a bit of backing, man. Just
to tell our own stories.
But to tell them properly with like, look, what Spinners was number one for the longest. Yeah. For every week the Spinners was on, and the build up to it, like, I mean, I saw it on X, I saw it on, you know, there were billboards. It was just all over the place.
Yeah.
So the marketing side was great. The performances were great. Cantona was amazing. Jaco did a fantastic job. And it just all came together beautifully, and it created this amazing show that no one could stop talking about for weeks on end.
It was absolutely stunning, bro. Like I haven't watched something that long that I've been that. I think I sat and I watched it in one sitting. Couldn't get enough of it. It was beautiful. And yeah, Cantona was incredible. It's nice to see also like the next generation coming up. I don't know how old these kids are. Are they even kids? But I was just like faces that I've never seen before, and like just put out such beautiful work.
Yeah, for me, what impressed me about his performance was he took on the responsibility of hitting the show, and we're filming out of sequence. So there's so much on his shoulder, and his characters just, from the very first episode, these characters on this emotional roller coaster that does not stop. His emotions is up and down. So as an actor, Cantona has to sit there and go, my emotions in this episode are here. Yeah. But now we're going to film the end. So now my emotions have to be here. He has to break that down so that his character, even though it's a roller coaster, still has that through line of where we go into the end goal. Yeah. And I was so proud of him, and he handled himself like a professional.
And he internalized it well, I felt. Like he didn't like hit the character on the nose. He didn't like feed it to the audience.
Yeah.
You could just feel like he was internalizing it. Like
there's so many, like, scenes of his where he gets beaten up, where Elton
Yes.
beats his character up, and he's
Yeah.
pleading with him. He's like,
That's
please,
towards the end,
please.
right?
And
Yeah.
you're just like, you felt it, man. But it's
Yeah.
just like this little boy who just wants to spinning and get out of this world, but he still has one foot in this world because of a mistake. But he did amazing, and I thought the entire show was incredible, and the youngsters also, they had to carry the other side of the spinners world, right? So we out here doing all the gangster stuff and keeping this going, and then they had to almost be the lighter side,
The relief.
yeah. And the chemistry between those youngsters was so amazing as well. You believe that they were a crew, that they were a clique with the the little ad-libs and the jokes in between and stuff like that. That was so believable, and the show needed that.
It's reality though, because I mean, generally, like, you get, even within, yes, there's divide in, like, there's like the nicer white neighborhoods, and then within the colored communities, generally in the Cape Flats, there's the nicer side of the Cape Flats and like the worse off side of the Cape Flats, and that like represented that nicely. You know, like where I grew up, we get Belhar, nice side of Belhar, back of Belhar, not so liquor. So if someone from the back came to our side, someone would be like, "What are you doing here?" So there's also, like, between us as a culture, there's also a divide. You know, like we used to say, like, Lani coloreds and like Gamma coloreds. You know.
Like, remember when you used to play as kids, and if they tease you if you did something, they'll be like, "Oh, you're keeping you Lani now."
Yeah. They sturvy. Yeah, you sturvy.
I love the sturvy girls at high school.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't it? The sturvy girls is where everybody wanted to be. But it's like, it's funny how that division even exists within one culture, like classism and all of that. And again, like, spinners represented that so well, that fine line of, he jumped across the barricade somewhere, ended up at someone's house that's slightly better off to do than he is, but still in the same neighborhood. You know? Yeah.
But it also shows like where Kino's character comes in. That kid is in that position because his dad was there, and his dad is looking for a new path. So I felt Kino's character was so cool as well too. He's like, I know this world. And I don't want you to mingle with this boy. Because I know where it goes.
And that's like such a divide within us as a people also, because like our parents are obviously, like, as the generations go, hopefully they one up. You know? And Kino in that role has one upped. And he used to be there. But as soon as we leave there, we don't want our children to go back there. You know, and that's crazy, because somehow, how do you bridge that gap in yourself? Because we are trying to run away from ourselves to what we used to be, and we don't want our kids to follow go through the same hurt and trauma and lack that they had. You know, so it's interesting. It's very interesting.
I think that's like we take it back to me growing up in the sports and my dad and stuff. That's just what he wanted, man. He was just like, I think for him, he was a phenomenal rugby player. But, he couldn't play for the Springboks and stuff. And you
Saru and like
and,
Black.
And, you'd walk around Straumontein, you bump into his friends, and they all spoke like glowingly of him. It was like, so he could have been a Springbok. Your dad was phenomenal and all this stuff. So I also get where he was coming from with regards to the sports stuff. But he also just,
that's why you find a lot of our people support the All Blacks.
I
don't know if your dad was one of them.
No, he was a
Springbok. Some people have managed to let go of the past with our sporting now, and I'm one of them fully. Like, I don't see why you would still support. I actually feel sorry for those people. Like, there's no hate towards them, but I feel like, you need to heal at some point. And like, look at our squad now. Our squad is so mixed, the most mixed it's ever been. It's such a beautiful time to support the Boks and support our own country, but we're still hanging on to this past of supporting the Springboks because we couldn't play for the white teams.
So I'm an All Black.
I was gonna ask you. I'm sorry, but I don't. It's not that I feel sorry for you, but I'm just like, brah, you're missing out on so much through my lens. But tell me, like, why is it that you would still...
Liewe ma, jy's my beste maatjie. Jy's die snaakse mens wat ek ken in die hele wêreld. Maar jy's so sleg met wegkrappetjies speel. Jy maak die heel beste brownies. Ek smaal oor wanneer ons gaan fietsry. Wanneer ek ouer word, wil ek mooi wees soos jy. Geluk by ma se verjaarsdag.
Why would you still be supporting the All Blacks?
For me, it's nothing to do with the past. If
It's
I'm
the game.
brutally honest, it's the game. So when I start like watching the rugby properly, I was just funny enough round about the Rugby World Cup '95, and my uncle who passed away in 2011 due to cancer. He was like my second dad, so I looked up to him, and he was just the coolest guy walking the planet. And he was in All Black. Now, why he supported the All Blacks, I don't know. It's never a discussion we had. But for me, I remember watching the World Cup, and there was this rugby player named Andrew Mertens.
Of course. Number
And
10.
Number 10, yeah. And I was just in awe with the way, like his kicking game was incredible. He's such a good kicker. So I just fell in love with him mostly. And then it kind of just grew from there. But for me, it's not to the point where I watch the Springboks and go, man, I hope they go down. I appreciate the team. I think Sia's like an incredible captain.
Leader, yeah.
I think what they did at the last World Cup was phenomenal. And the thing is, look what happens to the country whenever these guys are.
The whole country gets elevated. It's in a beautiful,
Completely.
for the once in a, like, we're now united.
Yeah.
It's so lovely.
So, and everything, no matter what's going on, be it load shedding, be it crime, whatever, the corruption that's taken place. When the Boks are playing and the Boks are winning and they're winning the World Cup, everybody is on that same level, same wavelength. Yeah. So for me, it's nothing to do with that. It's just as a kid, I grew up watching Andrew Mertens. I liked him. I got to meet him.
I mean, you can't fault the flair of the All Blacks, the way they play. It's fun to watch also. But let's say it's World Cup time and All Blacks have fallen out. The Springboks are still in. Who are you voting for?
I'll go Boks.
The Boks.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So you're not anti-Bok. You just
I'm
you
not
just
anti-Bok.
enjoy All Black rugby.
And it's just what I've been supporting. I still have what's in storage now, but I have a Dani Gerber poster.
Yeah.
Like I remember Dani Gerber. I appreciated him as a player when he stopped playing, and I was like, oh, okay. Next guy I fell in love with was Andrew Mertens. And then I just kind of supported him and the All Blacks all the way through.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those where it's, and I've spoken to a few of those All Blacks where they're still hanging on to the past and
because a lot of times when you find out somebody, especially colored or black, is supporting All Blacks, you think it's because of racial issues. That's why I just wanted to clear that up with you, because I think we're probably from the same generation. You were born?
85.
Okay, I was born 86, so you're older than me. But same kind of. So for us, also you're young to be to not want to support the Boks because of a race issue, because we were kind of at the tail end of apartheid. So, I remember going to white schools for the first time when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
I remember the feeling, seeing them for the first time, because schools just opened up.
I got a photo of me at creche. I went to a creche in Lansdowne. Yeah. And it's all white. Yeah. With one colored boy and one black boy. Yeah. It was just us. But
were your parents also like that? They wanted to put you into better schools immediately as the doors opened?
1,000%.
Yeah.
So all my friends were white growing up. I had a bit of an accent. And that's how they wanted it. If it was one of those, if you have too many colored friends, I'd be like, hey. Yeah. I remember.
And they'll check the way you speak also if you come home.
So I was just about to go to that story. So my dad, we were once having, do you remember Open Time?
Yeah, of course. We all had, because we couldn't afford Mnet, so we had to watch Open Time. So that was the worst, bro, because you just get excited for the show and then you're watching and then all of a sudden Open Time's done. And now you're like.
So we were around the table and Igoli was on. And these two characters, they were next in Igoli. Yeah. And these two characters were fighting. And I'm at the supper table and I'm like, oh, wow, they're going to roll. Yeah. And my dad was off for the TV. Where did you learn that? Where did you learn? I'm like, no, my friend Oscar. I don't want you hanging out with Oscar anymore. Yeah. Just because I knew what the role meant. Mm-hmm.
Why you speak like that?
Yeah, we
we had the same stuff. It's so funny, bro. That commonality between like our parents were all the same, but it came from a good place because they wanted better.
What? It did, and I will say this about my folks. Look, we have no relationship as it stands right now. But the one thing I will say about them is, even when we had zilch, like nothing, they found a way somehow to make sure that we still stayed in nice areas. So like, there's a time we stayed in the Rondebosch East.
Damn.
Right? Fuck all electricity. Like,
yeah,
barely any food.
But refused to
But they
downgrade.
wanted us there.
Yeah.
They were like, this is where we're going to try and keep you here. So I commend them for like doing that.
Yeah.
At least to try and at least still keep, because they were just like, we don't want you guys to go to the areas, even though we did. I mean, I'd run to Strummentown every chance I got. But when we lived there for, like with my folks when I was living there, I think we were there maybe for a year. And then we moved to Paddo. My uncle was like, hey, come live
What's
with me.
out of Paddo?
It's close to the spa.
To the spa.
We were in McIntyre Road.
I remember. Oh, okay, I know where that is. It's close to Paddo Center, Sanlam Center at the time.
Fairly close, yeah. So I commend my folks for that.
Yeah.
Wanting to still keep,
Yeah.
the, how can I say, what's it, the appeal.
Appearance.
The appearance, there we go. The appearance, because they were very much about that.
Yeah. But other people don't understand, I think, the hardships that our parents had to go through to ensure that we stay in these good schools, which were Model C schools.
Yeah.
Because, my mother would also, she'd be up in the morning at 4, having to pack all of our bread and whatever, and then catch a train from Belhar into town. At night, come back with a train, go and do extra studying classes, cook for a whole family, because we were 9 in a house. But they did a lot to make sure that we were
9 in
we
a
were
house.
9 in the house, bruh. Yeah.
Hectic. So were you in the 9? Like, are you?
I was second youngest. Only boy, second youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only boy?
Only boy.
So 8 girls?
3 girls, but I lived with my auntie, my mother's mother, my mother's mother's sister, and my nephew.
Oh, wow.
Came along later. But just like the lengths that they went through to make sure that we had a good education, which is like, now if you look at it, I think we're in a culture now that we just kind of, it's easy to just like care for yourself. Even like having kids, we don't want kids because I think we come from the trauma of like seeing what our parents had to do to make sure all the kids are okay. And in the economy that we are in also. And again, as freelancers in an industry that, pays us sporadically and not at what industry standards. Well, I think we're like the only industry where the rates has gone down over the years, while living costs have gone up.
Yeah.
So I think, it's, I don't know, like life has just changed so much. Do you think you'd want a family of your own still one day? Like, do you want kids? Is that in the cards?
It's never been top priority for me.
Okay.
It's never, no.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, marriage, I'm open to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But kids from school already, I've been saying it's not. And it's obviously affected the relationships I've had because, women are like, I want a family. And it's like, I don't want to do that.
And if you have a oopsie? Not that there are any oopsies, but...
No, I'll pull out game some point.
Oh! Fair enough.
That's always my go-to.
Pull-out games on point. That's the go-to. Okay.
If there was an Olympics of pull-out games, gold medal.
Gold medal Olympian.
Gold medal Olympian.
Clayton Evertson. Ladies, here you have it first. Damn.
But no, it's not. But I think, like, in therapy, I've spoken about it, where it's it also has to do with the relationship I have with my folks, for instance, and how things developed with us. That also, because it was just me and my siblings. Hey, like I just.
How many siblings, by the way?
So it's myself, and then I have a sister and a younger brother.
Okay.
And then in 2018, I met up with a brother I never knew I had.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like a laat lammertjie or like a...
No, he was like a year. He's a year younger than me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wonderful dude. And so, yeah, that also plays in my mind. I think for the longest time, I just had the biggest fear of ending up like my dad.
Okay.
Like, it was a huge fear where, and I actually stopped drinking when I was 21.
Okay.
So that was end of 2006. So beginning 2007, I stopped because I felt like I wasn't handling my liquor, and I look at my dad who was, he was an alcoholic, and then I was like, I just don't want to be like this dude at all. And so I stopped for the longest time until I could finally like get through that and realize, that I am my own person who can also make my own decisions, and I can't live my life running away from being him.
Yeah.
That's
a major fear for most men, I think, because the father dynamic, it's an important one, father-son. It's what shapes you as a man, I think.
It does, and that's why my uncle became the guy I looked up to. He wasn't perfect, but he acknowledged he wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
It was through him that I learned it's okay to say sorry. Because he'd apologize to me for stuff he wouldn't do. If he didn't if he didn't pick me up, it's like he didn't see me for 2 months or something, he'd be like, boy, I'm so sorry, man. Dad never apologized.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
I think within our communities also there's this divide between like older and younger, and you always have to be respectful to older.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
No matter what.
And sometimes I have a problem with that. But also to this day, like no matter what, like I kind of have it in me. Someone's like, I have to be nice to them. They're older than me.
Yeah.
But are you doing it out of like obligation, or is it because that person is deserving of your respect? Because I think we're at a cool age now. I think we're both at the age now. If someone's disrespectful, I don't care if they're 60, you're allowed to.
No, yeah. I mean, if someone talks to you a certain way.
Now you're like, yeah. But it takes a while for us, I feel like, to grow up because we always like respect your elders, which is a good thing. But like, sometimes some people they have to also earn respect.
That's true. It's like even in this industry, I find like we would just say yes to stuff, and we would be we allow people to talk to us however we want because we're on set and we don't want to. Yeah. We don't we don't want to be the one to rock the boat. But then there also comes a time where it's like, you know what? I think I also deserve a thank you or please. Yeah. And you're talking to me like I'm a nothing over here.
Did you ever find that when I would come onto set, and you've also done a shitload of international Hollywood productions, while local Cape Town production thinks that you are a foreigner because they don't really know you before you step on, and then you walk onto set, while they think that you're a foreigner, they treat you with respect. Like the third AD who's from Cape Town would come, hi, oh my gosh, oh, thank you so much for coming. Here's a trailer. Where are you from? And then it's like, I'm from South Africa. Oh. Okay, your trailer's there. It's like respect out the window. As while they think that you're foreign and not from here, there's all the respect in the world. When they find out who you are, that you're from here, that you're like, oh, just a colored local. It's like, oh, okay.
No,
have you found that at all?
I haven't found that, but I have definitely been disrespected on set, or just had someone Raised by Wolves.
Oh.
There was an issue there with the way they would speak to local cast compared to the international.
Was that local production speaking to you like that because they know that you are local? And then they spoke to internationals differently, so local production.
My big issue on it was the international guys would get a please and a thank you.
Yeah.
From
local production.
From everybody.
From everybody.
Because
I can't stand that shit. Because I find that a lot with like local production companies who treat local actors a certain way, and then as soon as the international stars walk in, it's like,
no, look, my whole thing was, I'm not asking for a big hotel. I'm not even asking.
I think if anything, we don't ask for enough.
We definitely don't. And I think as the local actors, we are very respectful.
Just like we're out there, like whatever you have left.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with when you call somebody, hey, we need you on set, please. Not, hey, we need you on set. Can you hurry up?
Yeah.
Tone and just how you speak to someone.
Just full of respect, bro. Like,
That's
it's so
all
easy.
it is.
Just have respect for me. That's actually all I want on
Because
any interaction is respect.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the call sheet. You know where you are on the list. It's fine. I can see that I'm number 20. I can see that, number 258 if it gets to that. But at the end of the day,
also, you auditioned for this role.
I auditioned.
And you drove and went for a callback for this role.
I'm a fucking human being. Just talk to me correctly. And the only way this whole thing works is communication. The only way we're going to get through this long production is through the correct communication. So let's just communicate correctly. And if we do that, that's half the battle won. That's at least half the battle won. Yeah. But arguments and tensions rise on set a lot of the time because of lack of communication or how people communicate.
Yeah.
And then that's when the tension starts.
Yeah.
And if you can fix that, then it's fine. Like,
Yeah. It's so simple. It's simple. Should be simple.
It should be simple.
Should be simple.
It shouldn't even be a discussion, but you'll be on set having that discussion about respect. And it's like, okay, what world are we in at the moment? Yeah. We're having a discussion about respect on set.
Yeah. Like you guys are grown-ups.
Yeah.
Just respect everyone. It's chilled. You did say you did say Twister as well. Say Twister.
No.
Okay, you did Ardens Flay.
I did Ardens Flay. Yeah.
Ardens Flay. Why is it that an actor like yourself wouldn't? And I'm sure you have the opportunity to do this sometimes, but why don't you stay on a show like that and just be on Global? Like now you work for them around the clock, month in, month out. Or did you actually do that?
No. So I wanted space to go and do other things as well.
Yeah.
Because when I joined, it was COVID, deep COVID. And I got in with them, and then I was with them for a good couple of months. And then there would be a time where my character would disappear. And then I'd use that period to land international work or whatever else was coming in.
Yeah.
But no, I never wanted to be like full time with them because one, your character could get stale. Like you could grow tired of your character because you're relying on these other people to write your storylines.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe the other actors had input on character development, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's really, they don't allow it often.
Yeah, so you're not involved with the creative process. So you really don't have an idea of where things are going to go with your characters. So I always like the idea of, switching it up, being on Ardens Flay and then doing something else.
Do you
because
think that
creatively it just keeps you sharp as well?
Playing that same character day in and day out for years.
You won't say to us, yeah?
Yeah.
How long did you play that character for?
Bro, the longest time I go on the show is for 3 weeks, and I'm exhausted at the end of the 3 weeks. I don't know if it's because it's the Afrikaans or if it's because of this playing the same person for over and over.
Also, you're in studio.
In studio, day in and day out, but it's like, I mean, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I mean, we always have to be thankful for the opportunity, but it's like, also, do you feel that these actors that are working day in and day out and have signed contracts onto these shows, that they are doing so for a livable working wage?
When I was younger,
you used to think
I used to judge. I honestly used to judge the actors doing these, soapies or whatever. I think as I got older and I took on more responsibilities, just in your personal life and stuff, I started to understand,
why you would work for the stable paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally understood it and then, pulled my judgment away. A lot of guys have families, they, whatever. So if that's what they choose to do, then that's what they choose to do. At the end of the day, they're still performers. They're still...
No, they're actors. Of course,
actors.
they're artists.
They are working actors.
I take my hats off to them because they are so hardworking. They are there day in and day out, 7 a.m., blocking scenes, bringing the emotions that need to be brought. Yeah. Like, it's tiring.
It is tiring.
Like, sometimes I just question, like, what is it all worth? And money can always be better, but
The only thing I would probably question is the creativity side of it. Like, how much creativity or creative input do you have in the scenes? Because I will say with Iron's Flay, especially when we went on location, we'd have a lot more freedom to give creative input.
How long were you on there for again?
3 years.
You were on Arden's Way for 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay, that's shit long.
3 years on
That's
and off.
long.
Yeah.
Damn.
But like, for instance, where are we now? Last year, I wasn't on the show for 6 months. So from January till about, June, July, I wasn't on. And then that's when I was doing, Yeflo X and all these other shows.
It's a good experience though. You enjoyed it? Arden's Flay?
Big time.
Is it? Cool.
I'm very grateful because they gave me a chance, man.
Yeah.
They gave me a chance when no one else would give me a chance.
Yeah. Who did you play?
Clint. I think at the time his name was Jake.
Okay.
But that was like his undercover name, and then his real name ended up being Clint. But yeah, luckily Jolene and myself, we had amazing chemistry, and the
She's
audience.
an amazing actress, eh?
Yeah.
She's really
Really
good.
cool person.
Yeah.
Like, even business-wise, she's on it, man.
Yeah.
That woman is always working.
Yeah.
Always. But like, that's what when I'd sit down and talk to her, she'd like explain the business side of things, like doing MC gigs and stuff like that. And I picked up a lot of that from her because before that I wasn't doing any of it.
Yeah.
I was like,
are you doing MCing now as well?
Yeah, if I get offered, yeah.
If you could, okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a big thing, MCing, because it's a different type of medium. People don't understand that. They think that when they book you as an MC, you're going to come in there as character.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different craft, I find, on its own.
Well, people will speak to you as the character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the chemistry Jolene and I was really good, to the point where people thought we were dating in real life. And then when I was single, I'd be on dates, and then you'll have someone come up and be like, I'm going to tell Jolene. Yeah. I'm going to tell Jolene. And now this girl's sitting there going, who the hell is Jolene?
Yeah.
I thought she was single.
Yeah.
Are you vibing with somebody else? What the hell's going on? I'm like, no. Do you watch a show called Arden's Flay?
Yeah.
And then so people like mixed reality with this world of Arden's Flay, and then they were like, yeah, no, you two are together in our minds. It's like, we're not together. We're seeing other people. But people will speak to you as the character.
Yeah. That's so crazy. It's crazy.
Because I thought we had left that whole world behind, right? Remember Nansiki in Generations?
Yes.
Yeah. She'd get like slapped in the malls and stuff like that. And then I come
Same with Jill on St. Worcester, I think. When AB was taking a second wife, she had people like coming to her actual place of residence, like dropping cake off at the house.
No.
Saying that like my sister went through exactly what you're going through now, so I understand.
Oh, wow.
So I think viewers take it like as if this is really happening.
Because I know Rihanna, who she played, I forget the villain's name, but she played the villain on Arden's Flay, and she had it rough.
People would attack her out there.
Yeah, like people coming up to her, talking to her a certain way and stuff. Like it's like, and I genuinely thought we had moved past that.
Yeah,
I thought people had realized like there's the TV world and then there's reality.
Yeah.
So I was so shocked to hear that it's still happening. I think Leanne went through the same issue on St. Worcester.
On St. Worcester, because Leanne was the second wife that I was just telling you about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Farah. She was, I think, Farah on, and people came for her as if she was actually going to be AB's second wife in real life.
That's mad.
And she got attacked so much so that she had to put out a statement.
I
don't know if she went
statement.
to the police.
Yeah.
Because people were like harassing her. It's crazy.
I genuinely thought we had moved past that until like I started. Since then I started being on the show and realizing on both sides of it, be it villain or someone that people like, they're just so invested in you that they're like, you are this person.
Yeah. Wild. And like, where to from here though? Do you have a preference though with short or long term as a medium, as a freelancer? Do you prefer like telenovela to series or feature film or theater? Actually, let's put theater in that as well. Like, where do you rank
I haven't done theater in a while.
Okay, you miss it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching theater. Like it's going to be Say Twister Fierce now.
Yeah, on
I'm gonna be-
Saturday.
you're going to watch any shows?
I'm not going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm out of town on
Okay.
Saturday, but I want to go. I'm trying to get my sister 4 tickets. She messaged me today, actually, if I could get
Okay.
her some tickets. Yeah, but it's sold out.
Yeah. I'm going to go. I enjoy watching theater a whole lot more than being in it, if I'm honest.
We were in Grahamstown at the same time once years ago doing a theater performance. I don't know if you remember.
You were doing
Tani
Jeremiah's
The
show.
Jeremiah's one, Tani
yeah.
Dora. And then I don't know, you were in...
There was a time I was doing a one-man show, and then I was in a show Abdurrahman was directing.
Oh, okay. This was like 2012,
2014, 13, around there somewhere,
Yeah.
No, I love theater. Like, I love watching it, but I haven't done it since 2018.
Yeah. Do you think, is it a money thing?
I don't know what it is.
I know,
think
obviously we love it.
we do love it,
But
to be
financially
fair,
it doesn't make sense for living.
it doesn't. But if I'm honest, I think theater scares me a little bit as well.
Scares the shit out of me.
I think I'm not that good at theater.
So you judge yourself based like,
Yeah.
okay.
I think there are way more talented people than me to do theater. Now, it's really the only time I feel a level of intimidation. Like on set, I feel grounded. I'm there, and I know I can do this. I walk on set with a little bit of arrogance, if I can say that, with regards to the character and what I'm going to do. Theater, not so much. I become small, and yeah.
But yeah, some people are just, more cut out to be film actors, don't you think?
I think so.
Like if you look at the guys from back in the day, the film actors, you just maybe just have because I know I heard this thing once. Theater is like you are giving,
Yeah.
and in film you are being taken from.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? It's like because it's more small. It's smaller performances. It's more internalized.
So that's the thing, right? I love small performances.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely, like if you watch these European films,
Yeah.
they're all about small performances.
You just throw away everything.
Just all throw away. So much is said. Man, I did a film with Oliver Romanus
Yeah.
years back, Endless River.
Yeah.
So for character reference and film reference, he gave myself and Crystal basically a hard drive full of European films. And he's like, just pay attention to the details and the pacing of that. That's what we're gonna go for. And man, it was some of the most amazing films I'd ever come across in my life. Where sometimes there'll be the dialogue is so minimal, but it's secondary.
Yeah.
It's more about the look or how the character picks up this glass.
All the things you don't say.
It's all the things you don't say.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about film for me. It's like all the scenes that I enjoy or of my favorite actors and stuff, it's all these I was watching one the other day of Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
Right? Where he does the countdown.
Yeah. As
That countdown.
As the antagonist. Yeah.
And he's holding and he does a count and he's just looking at Tom Cruise's character and he goes 1,
Yeah.
2.
Because he's about to kill her, his girlfriend or something.
It's about to, yeah. Even though he knows it's not really her because she has the mask on.
Yes.
But the look he's giving and the tone of his countdown, it's like that's an acting class right there, man. It's like
these guys play villains so well, and then
who's this? Philip.
Phillips. I mean, he killed himself, right? So sometimes you just think like, oh, these people just going through the most. Because like some of our best performers or the most talented take their own lives, or they get it like go into substance abuse. Or I wonder why that is.
I don't know, because he was off. Well, from what I know, he was off the.
He's one of the best actors I've ever seen on screen.
Oh, incredible!
But like, why would he? Obviously he went and took his
Along
life.
Came Polly. Have you seen that film?
Yeah.
So he steals the show for me.
100%.
And if you look at it, he's like, he's almost overacting.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's like he's on that line, and he's this broken actor who still thinks that he's somebody, but he's not. And then he actually has this moment at the end where he goes to the office and, you know, he pretends to be one of the suits.
Yeah.
Or was he the attorney? I forget, but he gives his performance
Yeah.
there. He's incredible, man. Christian Bale in Killers of the Flower Moon, where he drives off and he knows that the women have all taken the place of the kids. So all these kids are like in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And he's going to drive them to safety. But that means they had to like sacrifice all these other women. And it's just him driving in this car and the camera's on him. And you just see that emotion, man.
Yeah.
And it's you can see the conflict of like, I want to turn this truck around, but I'm doing the right thing by saving the kids.
Yeah.
But there's like women just being brutalized right now.
Yeah.
But this was the only way to get out of this situation. It's like stuff like that, man. It's just like...
Well, like your reaction to just me talking about film clearly shows that your passion's more with film than theater. You know what I mean? Like I could see that you nerd out on film more than you would on theater. You love watching theater, but performance-wise,
I love
film. So what would be your top 5 films of all time?
Top 5. Okay, I'm gonna go The Departed.
Okay.
The Fighter.
Good one.
There Will Be Blood.
Amazing.
I'm gonna throw in a rom-com because I do love it. Notting Hill.
Yeah.
Notting Hill for me is like the perfect music.
Yeah.
Perfect soundtrack.
It's Hugh Grant, eh?
Hugh
I actually
Grant,
think he's
Julia
underrated as
Roberts.
an actor. He's brilliant.
So he was so good in that film, but the ensemble was incredible. And then the last one, just because I saw it the other day, I'm gonna add it in. Dollars and White Pipes.
Yeah. It's a classic. I'm telling you, all South Africans need to watch Dollars and White Pipes. It needs to be in the school curriculum.
I was talking about it on set the other day because I was like, did anyone else see it? I was playing on Mnet.
A lot of people haven't seen it. It's an iconic
I got the DVD.
film.
It's in storage.
Please borrow it to me.
I'm gonna get it out of storage. I'm gonna give it to you. Clint Brink in that, man.
Yeah. That was the first time I saw Clint Brink. Like, and that just, a film like that would like just catapult you to like, just a lifetime of iconicism. Is that a word? Iconicism. He's an icon
He
for...
was so incredible in that film, man.
Yeah.
You bought what he was giving.
Yeah.
Or selling you, I should say. I was so hooked, and I was like, but everybody... Brendan Daniels is in there like a young man.
I didn't know he was in there.
Bro, watch it and you'll see Brendan Daniels, just this young Brendan Daniels.
Hectic. That also just shows how long these guys are coming from, you know, like you don't, just because you haven't seen them in a long time doesn't mean they haven't been acting since like way back then.
I worked with Brendan Daniels now on 4 productions back to back.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
Yeah.
Seeing what he's capable of doing. Like he is... And he's one of the guys like spinners who came up and he was very complimentary of my performance and stuff. And to get that coming from him, it was such a huge deal. And I just said, thanks, man. It means a lot coming from you because you always like in 2 minds sometimes with your characters and stuff.
Fucking Joey Rasdeen, he was in there
Joey
too.
Rasdeen.
Joey was in there. That was the first time we saw Joey, or I saw Joey.
Yeah.
And I worked with him now a few years ago. But he's just like, he's hilarious. But like,
is he still doing stand-up?
He's still doing stand-up, still acting.
Okay.
But the way he killed that role, like all of them were just perfect on the money.
It was, and I remember when that film came out, Joey, I mean, everybody was crazy. But on everybody's lips was Dollars and White Pipes, Dollars and White Pipes. But the thing was, when I watched it when I was younger, I didn't fully appreciate what I was watching, like performance-wise.
Yeah.
When I watched it the other day, it was like stop-start.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, I need to see the scene again.
It almost saddens me that like quality of the storylines was so good. If that's how it was back then, we should be in a place that is so like light years ahead now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we are. Dollars and White Pipes set the bar so high.
Yeah.
Like we should be telling stories out of this world now with massive budgets, you know, because that's Dollars and White Pipes set like such a benchmark for the culture.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, that you said it there, budget, man. It just
Budgets
always comes down.
Yeah, we need to do better. I think it's governmental stuff, man. surely they can fund more projects.
money's
Or if
probably
there was
there, but they're
less
just
corruption, maybe.
fucking
Or
stealing it.
yeah, because I think a country is only as good as its culture.
Yeah.
You know, and culture is seen through the eyes of artists and built through artists. So if we don't put more into the culture and into arts, then, you know, this is what the governments and people don't realize, is that that's going to stop us from becoming a great civilization. Because great civilizations is built through arts and cultures.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
I don't think they take it seriously in South Africa.
They don't.
They don't. It's a BCS fuck all money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's where we went to for like a top class.
Well, there's money, but where's it going? It's supposed to go to the shit that we do, that we decided to do. I would have felt so cocky if I went to a whole UCT, got an honors degree in performing arts, only to find out that there's no work lined up. You know, like don't make it an actual tertiary level education option. If you're not going to pump money in from a government level into making film and culture and things like that, then don't make it a subject at university.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to study so long for? To go straight into unemployment and do commercials for the rest of your life?
Or do
if
it,
you're
but then
lucky,
not even go into the field.
Or not, because you're not going to go into the field. Then don't make it a subject. Like this, if you're going to have a whole UCT drama school, Stellenbosch drama school, our biggest institutions, you better make sure that something is lined up with government to ensure that money is being spent to create stories for these performers that went to study for 4 or 5 years. That's what I think.
I mean, look what happened with so Seven the Line ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did they replace it with? Fikuk Palace. It's like
The old shit.
The old shit.
That's what's happening now.
That's what's happening.
And the sad part of that is those actors from Fikuk Palace, they're not seeing a cent. So there's no royalties. So no actors are living off that money.
None.
That's
So there you go. So it's both sides, right? So
bro.
A show like Seven the Line ends for whatever reason. The show ends. Then we don't have a new show. We don't have money to pump a new show. So we're going to put an old show in.
Where we don't have to
those
pay
actors
anyone.
are not going to get money from us airing a show from when I was a fucking teenager.
But that's disgusting.
It's madness.
It's disgusting on the parts of whoever is putting out these new shows and not paying the actors, because this is people's IP. That's their face out there for the rest of. They can just use it and resell it for as much as they want. Do you think we'll see royalties in our lifetime?
I think so.
I hope so.
I think so.
Because up until now, obviously, for those who don't know, South African actors don't get paid. They don't own their work. They don't own the IPs to the work that they do. So that's why I've been on shows where I do it, and then it gets sold to the UK, it gets sold in America, it gets sold all over the world, but you don't see an additional cent other than your salary you got paid while you were shooting it.
Yeah.
So you think it would change?
I think so. In our lifetime, I think will it happen over the next 2-3 years? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I do believe in our lifetime it will happen.
Hope so.
I don't think, because at the moment we want a lot, right? We want more money, we want the royalties, we want this. I think it's just gonna happen bit by But if we can get the royalties thing over the line, that helps.
Apparently it's been on the president's desks often. And then just get chucked out. It gets chucked out often. Anyway, that one's going to send us.
What's your top 5?
Probably Gladiator, Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile. I've got so many. So I love Denzel. It is hard. It's tough. I love Denzel, as well. So Man on Fire.
Yeah. Inside Man.
There's so much. There's a lot. That's hard. I asked you a hard question there. I'm going to ask you another hard question. If you could choose anyone's international local actor's career, whose one would you choose?
Who?
Based on the projects they've done and so forth.
Fuck. Ooh, okay. It's a toss-up. Damn it. This is tough. Okay, I'm going to give you 3. That's popped into my mind. I'm going to give you why 3 and then I'll choose the one. So, James Dean.
Nice.
He
I actually thought about James Dean earlier when you were speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It popped up into my head about film actors. It's a
James
good
Dean,
one.
just because he did 3 films and they were all amazing, and it was just 3.
Yeah.
He gave the world 3 films,
Yeah.
and he's a legend till this day.
What was that saying he had? Dream as though you live forever.
Yeah,
Live as if you'll die today.
yeah. Dream as if you live forever. I forget it.
Dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll die today.
tomorrow.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah.
One of the
Actually, I
two.
have the
They
poster.
both
I
suck.
don't know. I don't know.
Today and tomorrow.
But I think it's so impressive what he was able to achieve basically in a year and a half.
I didn't know it was that short. That's wild.
It was short because he did those films. He did East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, back to back, and then he jumped onto his final film that I forget. So him, and then I'd say Leonardo DiCaprio, because the consistency that this guy has, I don't think we'll ever see it ever again. The type of films and the type of roles that he's taken, like it seemed like after The Beach, he just went, it's like he just made a shift and went, okay, let's reboot things and I'm going to work with Scorsese. So he does, Gangs in New York, and then he starts moving. Then it's Departed. Then
He's
it's
tailored
The
his career
Aviator.
so well. Like
I
nobody, I don't know if anybody's done it better.
No one has done it better, and no one will
Yeah.
do it better. That's my personal opinion. I think even if he didn't win an Oscar, I think for me,
I don't
he's
give a
still in
shit
the
about. I don't give a
conversation.
shit about the Oscar.
Awards,
I know. Awards in general.
I just feel, just because he won it, if you take that away, he's still considered
100%.
one of the greatest because of consistency.
Yeah.
To be able to produce those type of performances, film after film after film after film, it's ridiculous. And then 3, Christian Bale, for the way he's able to fully jump in
And
to
transform.
projects. Yeah, to transform himself. He didn't choose easy projects either. Whether he's getting huge or tiny or he's and then we were saying earlier of set how he is about the mystery, maintaining a mystery.
Yeah, we
He's
both
able to
said
do
that.
that.
We're getting into this industry for the mysticism, for the mystery of who is this person,
Yeah.
which we've lost now with social media.
Social media, that's
you are
out the window.
forced to like be overly exposed all the time.
Yeah,
Because if you only do one thing, you're gonna die out.
yeah.
We both probably wish that we could just live off film, series,
100%.
just acting. But we have to do everything. We MCing, we out here doing
You gotta
podcasts,
be a
doing
jack of
radio,
all trades.
entrepreneurship, whatever we can do. But do you think it'll ever change, bro? Like, I mean, obviously we look to Hollywood actors because they set the precedent for film. They are obviously they are the purveyors of that art form. You can't. Like, you'll ever think we'll get to a point where it's like we're looking and naming South African actors as like people that we, Because if I also think, obviously, I'm on the same boat. If I look to like whose career do you want, I'm gonna go to like a Brad Pitt, Denzel, all those guys. Do you think we'll ever get to a point where it's like we're looking at our own artists?
I will say there are people who I'm inspired by,
Yeah.
like performance-wise,
Same.
like Abdurrahman. He is incredible to witness.
Yeah.
He, in my eyes, should be a bigger star in South Africa. Shouldn't have waited till he was on St. Oyster.
Yeah, I mean, that SAFTA means nothing for me that he got that. He did.
The guy's phenomenal.
100%.
He is absolutely
I
incredible.
felt
man.
like the SAFTA doesn't deserve him. They didn't deserve to have him there. That's how highly I think of him.
But
And then for him to get that award and then nothing actually like not enough coming his way.
yeah,
Do you get paid for a SAFTA?
I have no idea. I've never attended them. I've never been nominated. I don't know. Should
Like,
ask
put
Jared.
something in the actor's hands, bro.
They should. I think do they get gift bags?
They can keep a gift bag. I don't want a fucking gift bag. I can get a gift
Want
bag.
the cash. No, but like there's certainly people. I mean, there's people whose careers or whose admire performances of actors. So like Abdurrahman's one, Albert Pretorius is another one. You watch that guy, man. He is a fucking force. He's doing a play now, Othello, at the Baxter. That guy on stage, the first time I saw him on stage, you cannot not take your eyes off him. He demands your presence. And I got to work with him on a film with Nicole, and Jenna Bass was the director. And there was a scene where we like these seedy characters. I've knocked up a 15-year-old chick, and he's like, so we at this truck stop and we're all partying and stuff, and he has bad intentions with one of these girls, right? And he's just, music's playing and he's just dancing, and he's like doing this thing with his eyes. He's just watching, and you're watching it on screen and you're like, holy shit, like just what he's doing with his body and his eyes is like, it's incredible. Albert for me he's legit one of the best. And then
that's like through physical art that comes over years and years of perfection and like things that people don't see. Bro, that's not the superficial shit. That's deep digging and crafting over the years.
There's so much people don't see, man. Like with regards to performances, especially the performances where you actually need to pay attention. So I feel sometimes South African audiences, we want words. We want to be spoon fed.
We want to be spoon fed.
We want to be spoon fed. Yeah. And
that's why we like easy consumption these days, like reality TV shows, things that don't require too much thought process or doesn't make us feel uncomfortable about ourselves. Because art was generally for what? To hold a mirror up to society and like make you think hard about stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't really want to face ourselves. So I think we want to watch the more lighter things.
Yeah, it's the easy escape for us.
Easy escape. Not the shit that makes us feel uncomfortable that we shouldn't be watching, that would make us grow. So it's unfortunate. Hopefully it'll change. Let's see. Hopefully the actual art comes back into appreciation.
Hopefully, man. But the art will always be here. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Because that's why I value you. I've always valued you because you are you are like an authentic artist. You're an authentic actor. You know, I don't see you like as the ones that have, you know, like I think there's celebrity and there's artist. Like I think you've like kind of stayed in your artist lane quite well, and what you do very well, because I've been watching over the years.
Yeah.
And I think on that note, I just like to thank you for spending time, for coming in, my brother. Hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Definitely. Next time we're going to bring the cigars out.
Bring the cigars, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
I suppose I brought them today, man.
No worries. Next time, my brother. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
All the best. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Sure.